Okay, I need to preface this because, again, I'm doing a lot of bitching on this episode. United Healthcare was hit with a ransomware attack, $22 million attack. Before I comment on that, I want to reference Robert Hansen again. So I went to Austin last week. I flew. I did not drive because I'm not the, persistent fucking idiot. It comes in, intermittent flashes. Anyway, I'm talking to Robert. And we have a very good talk. The podcast lasted for about 3.5 hours, and I've got to go back for a part 2 in a couple of months. That being said, we were talking, and we got through several very beneficial things. The first is he's an investor with Arcos. Arcos is the bot mitigation company that I was chief criminal officer with last year. And he asked me, we were talking about it, and he's big on Arcos, and I like Arcos as well. And he was like, so what did you do for Arcos? And I was like, honestly, dude, I don't know. I was chief criminal officer. I trained people on, cybercrime dynamics, and I would go out and talk and all that. I said, but honestly, I don't think they really knew what to do with me. And Robert looks at me. He's like, that's probably a pretty common thing, isn't it? And I was like, dude, you have no idea. These companies, unless I'm going in and doing threat intel, which is what I basically do. Threat intel I'm outstanding with, but some of these companies, they want the cure of something, or they think that they can use me for something that I'm not down to be used for. Because, and this is something else that we talked about on the podcast, because I'm the guy that says a lot of shit. I do. I am not afraid to call out a company. And yes, this matters with this United Healthcare. I'll get to that in a second. I told Robert, though, I was like, look, man, I said, really, ideally, what I would like to do is be able to grow my shows, my speaking engagement. Plus, I'm going to be working on a security app. I would like to get it to the point where I am able to call out and say anything that I want to say about doing the right damn thing, calling out companies, calling out individuals, just do it without fear of consequence. And he looks at me and he was like, well, you do that already, don't you? And I was like, I do, but I got to be honest with you. I can't say every single thing that I would like to say. And he pauses and he looks at me. He's like, yeah, I can tell that about you. And I was like, yeah, I said, I would really like to get to that point. So he looks at me, he's like, well, Brett, why can't you do that now? And I'm like, I thought to myself, well, because I like to be paid to speak every now and then. He did make a good point. He's like, look, really, if you want to do it, just do it. Well, I am the guy that will just do it. Just watch my DMT episode if you don't believe that shit. Talking about United Healthcare. Here's the thing. United Healthcare is a shitty company. All right? I'm just going to say it. They're very good about denying things to the people who need treatments, medications, procedures, whatever. They're very good about that. And the reason I know that, my wife used to be a medical practice manager. I'm in Birmingham, which is now a medical town. Turns out after Steele went belly up, they needed to do something. So now they're medical driven. So I know a lot about the medical industry. I know a lot about the different insurance providers. Kind of like through osmosis. I just kind of soak it up as it goes along. Blue Cross Blue Shield, which I'm happy to say are our providers, they do an outstanding job. I'm very happy with them. United Healthcare, shitty company. They like to deny things. They like to fight. They don't like to pay. If you're a doctor and you're trying to get something paid, they will jerk the doctor around almost like it's a religion. I say that because, no, I am not blaming the victim for being victimized. The victim in this case is United Healthcare. They were hit with a ransomware attack, charges of $22 million. All right. They were hit with this attack. What I'm saying is that if your company has an environment of chaos or distrust or just a quote unquote shitty type of environment, that will absolutely translate to how good your security is within your organization, both physical security and online security. Period. If you can't communicate with each other and your customers, if you've got everything so compartmentalized that one part doesn't know what the other part is doing, you are going to get fucked up. That's just a fact. So I wanted to mention that today because I don't think anybody's really paid attention to that. If a company is just an outstanding organization, and more often than not, companies truly are. If a company is just an outstanding organization, if they do every single thing they can for their customers, if their employees have an environment of being able to share and communicate with different departments, that is going to translate to a much safer, more secure, more hospitable, and happier environment overall. United Healthcare is like you're trying to get healthcare from the 9th layer of hell. It's just not going to happen. Nobody's happy with United Healthcare. Matter of fact, when I heard about it, I was kind of like, well, shit, could have seen that shit coming. They needed it. They're still around. Whether they've learned anything or not, I don't know.